Hello, aspiring developer. So, part two, the first part of part two is we need to get really clear on the dream. What is it do you want to build? What is the outcome of that thing? How will it make you feel? Right? And I know that a lot of developers want to just get into the code. They want to build the thing and just go. But I feel like that has been one of the reasons that I have hit so many roadblocks and gotten so distracted by things over the course of my programming career. Nobody taught me until my college professor who actually hired me. Nobody taught me how to build a living document that represented the project I was trying to build. And so if the project got too large, or if I wanted other people to hop in on it with me and join me, there was this massive barrier where they couldn't because they didn't understand the dream. I couldn't clearly articulate it. I didn't have all the features locked in, the core features that I would want and need, the outcomes I was trying to create from those features. So I was lacking in clarity, and that lacking in clarity just caused me so much grief. And so before we hop into building, and before I start teaching you the skills you need to build the software, my goal is to teach you the skills that you need to design and architect and craft the dream and build clarity on the dream so that when you do sit down to build the software, you know where you're trying to go. Or at least you have a rough vision of where you're trying to go. You might not have it precisely where you want it to be, but at this point in time, right now, you're pretty clear on I'm going in that direction. And I want to create this outcome. And in order to create that clarity for you, we have what's called a design document. Now, just a quick story on these, and one of the main reasons I wanted to do this with you is because I participated in a game jam a couple of months ago, and I freaking loved it because the person who put on the game jam, his name was Thor, his Pirate Software. He's an amazing developer, and he requires a game design document for every submission. That's amazing. I thought that was amazing. It forced every participant to create a game design document. And he called it a living document. I loved those words. I've heard other people use it. I'm going to steal them because it is a living document, right? As I said, you know you're going in that direction. You don't necessarily know if you're going to actually land in that spot because you might build a feature and you're like, it didn't exactly do what I thought it would do. It didn't achieve the dream. But now I know that if I tweak it just a little bit, I can get to where I want it to be. I can solve the problem that I have. So the design document, or some people call it an operational specification. There's so many words for it, but it's a living document that represents where you are, where you want to be, the people you're targeting with it, and that could be you, by the way. You might be the target. That's totally fine. But this is an example of that document, and I just wanted to show it to you. So the way that I break this down is pretty much into, there's three pieces to this. You have the target, you have the problem, you have the solution. And all three of these things kind of combine together to create the dream, right? The target might be you. The problem might be a problem you're experiencing, or that you've seen in your workplace, or that you just have this vision of, it could be better. It could be done this way, and that would be awesome. And that's your solution, right? So all these three things come together to create your dream. And you can get more granular with it, but I have a simple template here that I've shared with others in the past who've gone through our Discover NoCode hackathons, and I'm going to share it with you. And my encouragement to you is to use this to get as clear as you can possibly get on the dream software that you want to build. Because the more clarity that you have right now, the easier it will be to say no to distractions as they crop up, to say no to scope creep as that happens. Scope creep is when you're going along and building and more ideas kind of come into play. Now, I don't want you to forget the ideas. I don't want you to completely abandon them. Some of them might be awesome. But you can come back to your design document and say, is this part of the vision? Is it part of the dream? If it is, we can add it into it. If it isn't, we can leave it out. If it's not part of this initial push you're trying to do. So that clarity is paramount in all of this. And I will finish this by saying the highest performers on the planet. There was a study done on over 170,000 people in over 100 countries, and they found that the most clear indicator of a high performer, someone who exceeded beyond the norm, beyond the average consistently without burning out and without sacrificing their relationships, was clarity. Those individuals were incredibly clear on where they wanted to go, the relationships they wanted to build, the problems that they were solving, the solutions that they were creating, the outcome of those actions, of their actions. So this design document is a way for you to become a high performer in the development space. And it's going to be our first step, your first step, from turning yourself into from a aspiring developer into a pure developer with your dream in hand. So I'll have a link to this document that you can get access to it. You can create a copy and you can start building your design document, this living document that you can refer back to know where you're going, what you're trying to accomplish, who you're trying to solve the problem for. Let's get to it.